So yesterday I posted the video about Brigadier Dineo, Brigadier Dineo, Brigadier Daddy's girl, Brigadier. I was born for this. I have a few comments I want to read out to you, and let me give you this disclaimer, guys. If I read your comment out loud, it is because it is relevant to the conversation at hand. Half the time you guys send me stuff and I'm during the people and you make me laugh. Sometimes I might not respond to a comment, sometimes I respond. It does not mean I don't see the comments, and also it does not mean I choose and pick. Anyway, let's drop that topic. That's the disclaimer. I'm gonna read a few comments here. This first comment says, some police officers, it took them 30 years to acquire brigadier status. So she's been a police officer from birth. You already know, because she's only 30 years old and she entered the South African Police Services, skipped all those ranks, all the ranks. Let me tell you what the ranks she skipped, just in case you are curious. Let's find out what ranks is it that she really skipped and what really is the problem. Okay, so here are the ranks that she skipped. So when you enter the South African Police Services, you are a constable, like Constable Sizwe Zungu, him. And then from there you can become a sergeant, and then from there you can be a warrant officer. And this is the level that Warrant Officer Makubo, the creator of Docket 375, defeating the ends of justice, is Docket, They're keeping him there because, he's interfering with the corruption inside Phakathi within. So he is a warrant officer. Yeah, Warrant Officer Makubo. And then after that, you can be a captain, And then after that, you can be a lieutenant colonel. After that, a colonel, brigadier, Do you see how far you gotta go before you become a brigadier? In all these stages, you cannot become a policeman without a firearm license. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been brought to my urgent attention that this Brigadier Dineo, Brigadier Daddy's girl, Brigadier Untouchable, does not have a firearm license. Oh my goodness. What has this world turned to? So after Brigadier, you can become a major general, like the major generals inside Phakathi within here, the dock. They're literally major generals in the dock. Can you believe it? And then you can also become a lieutenant general. Is there a lieutenant general in the dock? Yes, there is one. And then you won't even believe it. And then right at the top is the national commissioner. Sizowuthini commissioner. Who's the national commissioner? No, he's not in the dock. But it is rumored that inside Phakathi, soon and very soon, we are... Never mind. Let's stay focused. But I want to read you a few comments. This comment says, and as an untouchable, but gets her full pay of 55,000 rands per month until proven guilty. And as we see in other cases, these crooks get fully paid suspension, and the case gets postponed whilst these criminals eat taxpayer money. Oh, yep. This comment says, the body language screams the body language of our brigadier there, Untouchable, It screams, the body language screams, do you know who I am? Wait until my father gets here. You're going to regret doing this to me. One more comment I want to read. Another comment says, I hope they confiscated their phones. All of them. Probably they can get something in connection with the Henops River. Plus, this one was a technical don in the crime intelligence. She came to fight the father's battles. This comment, guys, let me read it to you. Let me know your thoughts on it. This is actually the comment that inspired this video. It says, I am 18 years in the rank of captain, and I'm left with 3 years to go on pension. I was in SAPS from 1990, and I feel sorry for myself. Others, they just simply climb the ladder. Wow. What a wow. First of all, dear commenter, First of all, never ever ever feel sorry for yourself while comparing yourself to Mkulugudu, okay? Because the Mkulugudus are Mkuluguding. And where are they now? Inside Pagati within the dock. Enjoy your 3 years to pension. Enjoy your freedom. Don't worry about the ranks because it looks like the cleanup of the cleanups is happening. This is 2025, okay? I'm so really heartbroken to read this because this is the reason why I do these videos. Because what do you mean you're a brigadier and you're 29 years old and you've never, ever, 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 ever possessed a firearm license and you've never, ever, ever worked inside Pagati within the SAPS? It's incredible. But I want you to listen to Paul O'Sullivan, okay? And you know, once Paul O'Sullivan enters the conversation, Guningi, okay, let's hear it from him. I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
Of course, we had the brigadier, the 29-year-old brigadier, Dineo Makweli, who was previously called Mahajani. She got married to a guy that she worked with at the University of Shwani, or Shwani Technical University, whatever it's called. And her father was arrested, I think, last year for attempting to buy a docket in the KZN region concerning one of these political killings because they wanted to get somebody off the hook. And I think the Sunday Times said yesterday that his daughter being given this beautiful appointment as a brigadier in the police with no previous policing skills whatsoever, none, zero. No firearm training, no firearm was registered to her. You can't be appointed in the police if you have no firearm training. And a whole lot of other issues, but 29 years old. She made history. She was the youngest brigadier in the police ever. Forget about whether she's male or female or whatever, but you can't make brigadier like that. It's just not done. And therefore her appointment was unlawful. And I think the Sunday Times said that it was a reward for her father, who's been suspended. And what happened to that trial? So what happens? People get suspended. They're supposed to go on trial, and then the public, no action is seen for a year or so, and then the public quietly forget about it because it's not in their sight. It's not on their radar screen. So what has to happen? There needs to be some kind of a report back to the people of this country about all these cops, and most of them generals or brigadiers. And what is actually going on? It's no good. It's no good to arrest them, suspend them, start a trial, and then they play the Zuma strategy. A lot of people call it the Stalingrad strategy. Well, the Stalingrad strategy was so named because it delayed the Germans by 18 months. The Zuma strategy delayed the criminal justice system by more than 10 years. And we now have a situation where the criminal justice system is ineffective, not only because of corrupt cops, but because there are lawyers out there prepared to be paid with the proceeds of crime to run the Zuma strategy or the Stalingrad strategy and delay. And part of that problem is we have a bail system where people are released on bail. They've committed serious offenses, and yet they're released on bail, and then they use the proceeds of crime. And in the case of these cops, the proceeds of crime is taxpayers' money. So they've stolen taxpayers' money. Now they're using that stolen funds to pay lawyers, and the lawyers' function in life is to get them off the hook. And the best way to get them off the hook is to drag it out for years and years and years and years and years. And then to claim that the state are dragging it out and have them out there struck from the roll. They're playing dirty games, all of them. And what we need to start
rather than police. Yeah. I'm not defending the police. No, sure, there are damn good police, and there are police that are rotten.
Malo, Madondo, Lushaba, he was arrested before. This is the guy that hired a prostitute and took her home to a safe house, I believe, because his wife wouldn't have allowed him to bring the woman home to their house. And she stuck a Mickey Finn into his drink. And after he passed out, she took his laptop and his firearm and she buggered off. And then instead of opening a criminal docket where he admits that he'd hired a prostitute, he lied under oath. This is now Lushaba I'm talking about. And then what he did, he briefed 2 other cops to go find that woman and get his weapon and his firearm, not his weapon, get his firearm and his laptop back. And that's what they did. And unfortunately, in all that whole process, they committed offenses. So, and then of course.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I did not know. Okay, the more the story goes and the more information is uncovered, the more bizarre it gets. So a whole Lieutenant General, aka Lieutenant General, Major General, not Lieutenant General. A whole Major General, Pilani Lushaba. He hired a lady to come and entertain him at night, okay, in his home while his wife was traveling. So it wasn't a safe house. It says his home, okay? While his wife was traveling, and then this lady who came over, she came with her tool of the trade, okay? She came with her armor. She came with her trademarks, okay? She came and she put something inside Pagati within his drink, and he was knocked out, and that is how she left with a whole Major General's firearm and laptop Ndondoni. Oh my goodness, she's the real Gulugudu here, okay? She did not. I thought it was like, okay, maybe, he didn't pay her for the services rendered. No, 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 no. She came and she came with a plan. She had a plan. She put it in the drink. He fell asleep. Wow. And he's a crime intelligence CFO. Whoa. Okay. Let's continue listening on.
No, I don't think it's appropriate to discuss what heads are going to fall before they fall. But if you're a dirty cop and you're out there, my warning to you is watch this space, because if you're a dirty cop and you're out there, we're coming for you.
That is problematic rather than police. Yeah. I'm not defending the police. No, there are damn good police and there are police that are rotten.
System should work. We have to put our foot down. If a policeman is committing corrupt crime, he should not be granted bail. He should be sitting behind bars. And then he won't play the Zuma strategy. He'll want to get the trial done and dusted and out of the way. Instead, these people are going to drag. Let me tell you something.